All right, I'm here with Justin. He's a professional taxidermist.
Not taxidermist. I just work at a tannery, so
Same thing.
kinda.
Yeah, you think bears are cool, and then you see a lion like that.
Right? Yeah. And then you think these are cool, and then you have to come and we'll show you a tiger. Or a leopard. They're pretty sweet too. I was like, man. But yeah, I would love to shoot me one of these.
Never shot a lion before?
I'm only shot on the one bear.
One bear?
Yeah. It was 2019. I started watching gritty films. And I went bear hunting that fall, seeing a couple bears, and then the following year I was like, I'm doing this. I bought all my shot my bear.
So that was your first bear tag?
First bear tag, first time out.
Nice.
First day out, opening season. I walked literally
So
4
like, man,
hours.
this is easy.
I walked up to where we walked, turned around. I was like, I didn't bring any lunch. I was like, I'm not hungry. I'm gonna go down and eat. Walked back down to almost to the truck. He was laying on a log. Arranged him at 465. Came back up the road and hiked down that hill down into the trees there. Found a spot through the trees where I could shoot him at 200. And laid down, shot him. 15 minutes later, I was down and across.
So that was that
Shot
19
him.
inch?
Yeah, 19.
19 and a half or something?
Yeah,
like
the
that?
skull, yeah.
That's nuts.
And he's 6'3" 3/4 squared on the table. I measured him 6'6" 3/4.
So you're just like, this is easy. First tag, first
not
day
really.
out,
It kicked
6
my-
foot bear.
It kicked my ass, but I've seen a lot of bears. Like even since then, since I've been like learned where I look, and I don't know. I've probably seen 15 bears this year.
And so we got some bears, we got my lion here from last fall. We're just caping it out. I've never caped anything out. Justin showing me how to do it right.
So the first thing we'll start with on the lion here, we'll do a front paw.
How many years of experience do you have, Justin?
I've been working now at the tannery for 9.5 years.
9.5.
Started in 2000 and late fall of 2013. So almost going on my 10 years. So getting there,
time.
getting there. Yeah, almost too long. So the biggest thing when you start this front foot on a mountain lion is you're gonna have your dew claw. And we're gonna do it just like we did the bears. So basically, come up, stop. So you fillet all that open. And work it around.
So how does the meat and the hide feel right now? Is it?
It's cool. It's nice and cold.
It's not too thawed. It's not too frozen.
No, the other one, I mean, the bear was kind of getting a little air dried, but that was probably because you had it out when you skinned it and stuff. But
it was
like
also in a cloth bag, not
yeah.
the garbage bag.
The garbage bag will retain a little bit more of the moisture, which I don't recommend usually. But I mean, if you're going to get it in the freezer right away, it's fine. But if you're going to leave your meat in it or anything for a long term, like if you were in the back country, don't use the garbage bag unless you're soaking it in the creek or something. I'd recommend getting like a Graxol game bag set or something like that that's lightweight, that'll let air breathe into it when you hang it up at night, and then let the air to it, and then you could take it down and put it in a bag or in the shade if you had to. So basically we came onto that dew claw. It kind of sits off to the side. Funky. Nuncle. So we just took it right off of that knuckle, that bottom knuckle. Now we can.
So how many cats have you caped?
I don't know, 15 or 20. It's basically the same. Everything, the process is exactly the same.
tightness.
That's the only thing that's different, and actually the claws on pulling the feet of this mountain lion is a lot easier than pulling the bones out of the bare feet, because the knuckles on the mountain lion here are retractable, so they're almost, the claw sits off of the side of the bone, so you can almost come up and just scoop it and it comes right off.
So bobcats, tigers, mountain lions, all the same.
All the same. Anything with a paw. Leverage is your friend on most of this stuff. I'm just following that.
I probably should have practiced on that hide you already did, because that was the least desirable hide.
So basically now, like when we seen the bear, you seen this part of the bear, and the claw was on that end. The claw sits to the side. So basically now, once we got it to that part, stick your tip of your knife in, and all I'm doing is going like this. And just work your way. I like to put a little hole there, and then I just stick my fingers in there. I'd only recommend doing that if you feel comfortable, otherwise you can cut yourself pretty bad.
Well, I'm definitely going to be going back on these videos and rewatching them. Maybe just copy them to my phone next time I'm out in the field. Save myself 20 pounds.
Just seen it, you trying to put the whole thing on your back. I was like, oh
Yeah,
man. I was like,
Sun was setting and we had 5.5 miles to go, man. I had to think quick. But it was like, did you watch the pack out video?
yeah, yep.
It was so cold the next day, like
Oh yeah,
no
your
worries
meat.
about it.
Your meat was fine. I think if you would have skinned it and left the hide there, you could have packed out all your meat. Because your hide probably only weighed 30, 40 pounds, somewhere right in there. A lot of people don't realize how heavy they are once you get them off.
You mean getting the skull and paws out?
Even, yeah, but you know, if you just left your skull and your whole hide there and just took your meat the first night, you probably could have packed it. You would have dropped about 30 pounds out of your pack and then debone it. So that's where I deboned.
Wow.
Ooh, it's a little sticky in there. A little tacky.
That is really cool.
Yeah. And the main thing for doing all that is just to get the salt all the way up there so none of those claws fall out. So. I'd hate to get ripped up by one of those.
Yeah. It's sharp.
Right? Next. And then this is just a Rapala.
Oh, like a fishing knife one.
Yeah, like a fillet knife sharpener, and I usually just keep that instead of keeping my steel in my bag. But if you have just that regular steel and that red thing, I've had this knife for 2 years, so it's still this sharp. This cat's broken its foot. Broken toe. Kind of was all welded in there. It's all different than these rest of them. You can see all that. That's like a pus pocket, and I won't squeeze it. It'll stink. Bone sour.
Wow. And you make it look easy.
And sometimes I just think about doing it in my sleep.
You're
It's just like another.
nightmares about it?
No.
No?
Sheep. Sheep are worse than these. I used to have to do those. So these are almost thicker than your bear pads.
Yeah. I guess I just thought that this black part would be like thicker.
Right, right.
I mean, it just kind of feels like it should be because it's like what they walk on, but I guess not.
Like I say, some like a grizzly bears and stuff like that, they're pretty thick. Mine were decently thick on my bear, but even then they were not too bad.
So you guys do the actual tanning then?
Yeah, that's all we usually do there.
So
We have a
what's the-
taxidermist on site named Carl, and he's the one that showed me how to do one bear. And ever since then, I've just done it. I don't know. Like I said, all you can do is put a hole, and then there's so much hair, you ain't gonna see it.
So what does the tanning process look like?
So basically, like, I'll
If you were to
take
take
your
this
bear,
thing,
I'll
or-
take this back
Yeah.
to our. I should have brought my fleshing beam from work, and I forgot to get it, but because it's my works technically, but it's a big beam, so I'll lay this out all the way with all the meat, the fat facing up, and it's a 45-degree beam that's flat, about that wide, and I'll flesh all this fat off to where it's just down to the hide, looking like that. And then I'll take a bag of salt every nook and cranny in the whole thing, and let it sit for about 3 days till it's hard. And then after that, it can go into like a 600-gallon
So what does the
tank.
salt do?
Sets the hair, pulls all the moisture out, sets the hair into the hide, and then we're pickling it. So the pickle tan basically pickles the hide like a pickle, basically, sets it, and then I shave the back of these down even thinner, taking all this veins, all that stuff off. That's what I do for work. Is actually on a big wheel. I sit and I shave all that stuff down, which if you want, you can come in and film all that stuff too. My boss doesn't care. And then at that point in time, it gets put into a tan hide, tan tank, and sits for a couple days, and then it's washed and cleaned and combed and out the door. So a lot of combing.
It's crazy what they can go through. Honey, those cat's feet are broken.
What?
Well,
Yeah, it's like it got smashed
like one
by a
one of the-
rock or
one
something.
like toe on each foot is broken.
Shouldn't be all divoted in like that.
Interesting.
It might have been in a trap too and got out.
That makes sense.
That would
We
make
see.
sense.
I mean, I've seen some weird stuff.
We were
That
gonna
was all
try.
messed up
corn.
too.
Hmm.
How weird. It's been smashed.
Weird.
Which is weird because you don't see anything on the outside.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it got. So these are really sharp. Oh, that was kind of dull. Kind of
Might have been the
chipped
broken one.
up. Wow. It's neat that you do the clamps. I've never seen that. I never
Yeah,
thought
it's
about
just for that leverage, man, it really helps.
Oh, very
It is.
helpful looking.
And then usually when I'm doing like this, I'm pulling it and then I'm pushing something against myself, or kind of helps from not cutting a hole too a little bit.
Yeah.
So basically, if you wanted to leave that on and you didn't cut right there, you would do this and then you'd just kind of sneak your knife
Oh yeah.
in there and then just keep prying and prying and prying and then roll it. And you're just kind of...
So the tail in that bear is still in there, I think.
Yeah, I'll pull all that and then do the fleshing on the beam.
So,
It
so if
literally
I was
all you
doing,
do is just and it just comes right out.
okay. So that's not like important. You can leave that in there then.
For right now, yeah. I got a cooler. I'll put these in when I get home. And then salt them all up, and I'll fill up with the paperwork, and I can send you a copy. All my
That's disgusting.
work paperwork. Let's see here.
Lion is like, its smell is closer to like rotten eggs. But bears are just nasty.
Right, so greasy.
Bears?
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you guys have you guys eaten bear meat?
I haven't.
Not like meat, but I made about 100 pounds of pepper sticks and jalapeno sticks. I should have brought you guys some. I have a ton. That's what I did with all my deer too.
We had bear burgers last night. So just straight bear ground.
I was
Oh, I'm
like
sure I've had it.
sticks
I mean,
to begin with,
Yeah.
but then Igor became just 100% obsessed with bear hunting, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be
I
married
am.
to this for the rest of my life.
I'll trade up all my
So
tags
I
for
just
bear.
need to get over it and just eat it. And once I
For
did
bear
that, I
hunting.
was like, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yeah, I need to try it for sure.
It's so much better than beef.
Did
and
your,
in my
fall bear
opinion,
hunting
it's
this
better
year?
than Euro.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
raised
I'll
on
go.
Euro.
Oh, wow.
So it's like
You'll have to let me
super
know.
mellow. It's nothing like the
I'll
high
take it to that other spot that I have.
And it's nice and tender. And I
It's a
love
little
it.
bit more
It's
difficult to
good
hunt than. And there's a lot of bears.
And he
In there.
says he wants to cook bear nuggets, like pieces of meat from bear fat.
Well, I'm doing it. Something dies. It's getting done.
And it is amazing for cooking, and like it's so much more digestible for me than other fats are, like butter or even like coconut oil and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've heard people using it in their like pie crust and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mix it with coconut oil and I use it as lotion.
Oh, wow.
Or makeup remover.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Too cool. What's this guy's name?
Joe.
Joe?
Josephine.
Oh, Josephine.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Miss Lady. Hi, Miss Lady. But are you talking to me?
Chickenist. German Shepherd there.
Oh. We grew up with German Shepherds.
Yeah, she's just a straight up chicken.
She's like got a million smells going
What
on
is
right now.
that? What is that?
This last one.
It's very soft. Man, somebody could mistake her for a small bear.
She will hold her bear cub when she was a puppy. Yeah, she's good. So fluffy, so blooper. She likes to do this thing and play when it's dark out, and she likes
That was really small on the end there.
Oh, so
Yeah, it does. It gets down to like nothing. You should don't ever shoot a fox. If you do, don't bring it to me.
Yeah.
It's like the worst.
There's some military choppers.
I can do that. I've done that before, so.
I just trade mine for my capes, my deer capes. If you ever don't want your deer capes, I get you free euros done.
Really?
Yeah.
What do they want for like
Well, they like
minimum?
replacement capes. Like if you were to get a decent deer
That is way slimmer than I have ever thought.
Right?
Because like a horse is, I mean, it comes out and it just stops.
Stops, yeah. They're usually about that. Yeah, blunt, pretty blunt. We do horses a lot too. And so we're just basically working it the same like we did the bear.
Here you go. I don't have any bags that was here. I got some from the house.
I know I have some in my car somewhere.
I might, I don't know.
I have my hunting pack in my car pretty much 24/7, so it's always got something.
But it just took mine out because they had it on the kayak. So there's the base of your ear, another little ear canal. Kind of get that fat off of the way.
It's pretty much same thing then as the
It's
bear.
yeah, it's identical, literally super. They can fix anything. Taxidermists can fix anything. You should see some of the stuff that comes in,
In my mind, I can see
like
all
holes
this
like that
texture.
big, and they can stretch it after it's been soaked. Our hides are guaranteed to stretch 6 inches, so you can stretch 6 inches to the middle, sew that up, and it'll never
So,
look like
say this-
never look like you had a hole there.
This hide measured like raw, unfrozen or anything, 7 feet, like exactly nose to tail. So if it gets tanned, is it gonna shrink like
It'll shrink
6 inches?
Yeah,
or so?
yeah, it'll shrink like 3 or 4 inches. Yeah, because then once you soak it up, and then they stretch it out to put the felt on it and everything. They put it on a board and they stretch it
Yeah.
and pin it, and
But if
that's
you don't,
what
But if you don't get it wet and stretched for a hide, just
it'll
like
just
a wall hanger. or
It'll
something,
just stay there. Yeah.
it'll just stay at that 3
That-
or 4 inches or whatever.
Yeah,
short.
shorter. Yeah. Which I guess is probably more natural anyway because
So what does the tanning process do? I
it's
mean, you
just
salt it to get the.
salt it to help set it. You're pickling it to basically preserve it.
What is the?
It's
is it like a bunch of
it's
chemicals
like
or just-
yeah,
dip it
sulfuric
in?
acid.
Oh, okay.
So like straight acid. My hands are in acid all day pretty much. So
So you do that part too. You're not just fleshing and.
no, we do. I pretty much do everything at the shop. From doing this to skinning dogs and cats to horses to mountain lions, bears, deers.
Does the smell get pretty?
No, it's actually. I mean, it's.
Get used to it.
Oh, I don't know.
don't smell
Some
that bad,
people smell it, but I don't smell it ever.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, like in here, you got 3 dead hanging, and it's
I
not
don't
that
smell.
bad.
I don't smell any of it. This is just another day at work. And I want to try to leave most of that stuff if you can, of course, on the skull, but it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna start running into the eye socket here. Get some of that meat out of our way. Just the back of the socket, make sure we're lifting up through that cartilage. Come on. Must be too far forward on the eye. There it is. Like I said, the biggest thing is just keeping that upward pressure. And then this is all hard bone that I'm just kind of running. And it's the outside eyelid, like this is just inside, so you're not too worried about it. So that's the outside eyelid that you want to really be worried about. That doesn't want to come over there.
Like the kind of wiring that's told in the fabric versus plastic. And it's only hot wire, there's no ground wire.
Peel this up a little bit.
It would be cooler if my grandma hadn't smelled it.
Get my fat finger in there. Another tooth.
Well, I put a link to your tannery. But it looks like you ain't gonna be working there all long.
Yeah, it don't really matter. They get enough work. We get enough work from taxidermists there. It's,
Wow.
looks like that.
That is so creepy.
Alright,
It's
so
also huge compared to the bears.
I'll move an eyelid there. Got different teeth, definitely. And that one probably won't be able to get them open right now.
Awesome. Skull's really small for I mean, she's not a big cat, but
Yeah, they're a little bit different.
like weight wise, she was probably close to that bear. But
Right.
it was a lot smaller.
And basically the process the same. The only thing you really got to worry about on this is all your bulbs. The ends of all your
Oh, yeah.
whiskers got bulbs on it. So you just see all that white stuff is connected to stuff. You kind of have to go through them anyway. But
So this has been in the freezer for about, oh, I don't know, 8 months.
This
7
is
months.
fine.
It feels good.
yeah, this one's fine.
We've had problems with our freezers, like losing power or whatever.
Right.
'Cause I'm just, like, really
as long as it
concerned.
stays fairly cold, cool.
So how about like freezing it, thawing it, freezing it, thawing it? Not
Don't really recommend it, but I mean, if you had to, that's all you had to do to work on it, it'd be fine.
Say like we keep losing power or whatever, like, and I don't know about it, it just keeps like thawing and refreezing and thawing.
It
again.
shouldn't really hurt it. Biggest thing with
As long
that
as
would
it
just
stays,
be,
like,
it may
40
be
below.
creating a lot of ice. Some, you might get a couple spots that are freezer burn.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's getting water and then refreezing that water maybe.
So if it's freezer
But-
burnt, it can't tan properly.
It'll tan. It'll look
I mean, it's probably a little
black,
discolored.
a little harder in a couple spots, but it should re-soak up fine. So you can really see those bulbs, the end of the whiskers, just kind of running the tops of them.
The ladies seem to
Oh,
stack
yeah,
up.
I'm gonna have to talk and talk. She talks a lot on the phone. And I don't talk a lot. And that's that.
Wow.
Boom. And then we'll do
The bears are cool, but I mean, seeing the lion though is.
let's cut that off flush. And then usually even the bear was a little bit dried out, but since this one's not, you'll cut this cartilage right down the center.
So when you're tanning this, are you keeping that cartilage on?
Yep, all this will stay.
Okay.
Boom. And that just allows to get salt down in there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks more for like a natural effect. So, and then kind of doesn't really look like it, but there's a lip line somewhere in there.
So you're just like unrolling the lip.
Basically, yeah. Just to help get, I mean, you really don't need to. It does help your taxidermist out doing it now. Otherwise, they have to get in there with like a Dremel tool after the fact and turn all that so they have it to be able to put on the inside of your shell and tuck it in basically around all your teeth. But you can tan it without doing all that and it would be fine. I'm just used to doing it. Boom. The ears are the same. Oh, you have to maybe, if you want, shit. If we go out together, if you get your bow stuff, I'll let you just shoot my bow if you want. I'm packing my rifle anyway.
I think all my bow money's gonna be spent on tanning.
The other day we went out hiking. I forget where we went. Got all the way out there and went to eat. I forgot my cooker. I was like, God damn it. We're not eating anything.
We were gonna cook like some mountain house up there at the, last night. There were so many people there, but, we have to get back at like 7, 8, at least 7, 8, maybe like 9 at the latest, but, cause we got goats, we got a milk.
Oh.
So, I totally forgot about it. So like, I started to get hungry, and I look at the time, and it's like, we gotta get home at like 9 o'clock, we gotta go now.
I know we were gonna stay one more night, and there was just so many people. We ended up leaving last night, coming home, and then I was like, I'm over paddling around. I'm like, we got a power boat for a reason. I'm going to get the boat. But yeah, I'll have to get you guys out on it for sure. It's nice. It's just only got an 18-foot pontoon boat, but makes it nice because I can bring all my camping gear, hunting gear, and we go.
Okay, time for the next card.
Oh, it's a pretty sweet setup, yeah.
Yeah, it works alright. I've been like struggling with my cables that I'm using for the microphone, just like randomly disconnecting without me knowing it.
Huh.
Like this, they're that sensitive. They gotta like wiggle them around. Wow.
Count down.
Get some photos of all of them together at the end, maybe.
Yeah, I'll just throw this one. They can sit out.
See the buck?
Yeah. That's a pretty decent deer.
That's one of the smaller ones. It was a big one.
One, two. See 3 on the one side. Oh, there's 2 of them there. One behind the tree and that one. I think the one out behind the tree might be a little bit bigger than the one that's to the left in the open there.
They're about to go away.
So this one's been in the freezer for a while. So, well, that was a paw. Well, I cut it off.
I don't want to pay you, just cut them off. I'm like, okay. Will do.
Well, I think that's like the cool part. I'd rather have.
Right, I'd rather have the hide more than anything. This one's got some nice white patch on it.
Yeah. This one's got way more, like, almost nothing rubbed out compared to that other one you did. It is kind of funny though, because I mean, with 9.5 years of experience, you won't be able to find someone.
Go down. Run it along. 4 feet.
Like 12 minutes. Wow.
They're about the same size, really. That one's almost a little bit wider of a head.
Wider, yeah.
You know, this pair's a little bit bigger.
Perfect. I love it. That looks great.
Heck yeah.
And they stink really good.
About the same size. Oh, maybe a little longer.
I mean, 2 inches.
2
You don't even
inches?
see it.
And they both got white patches.
Oh, that brown one is so beautiful.
It is so cool, huh?
Right, yeah, it's a good color. Pretty light.
I mean, look at all the different colors here, honey.
I should have
Yeah.
brought mine so you can see it.
And then that blonde one. It's got like 3 very different colors in a row.
I know, that is so cool that you just did that. Like blonde, brown,
Right,
dark
blonde
brown.
one's really hard. I'll take a picture of the one that I got at my work. It's like almost white. It's so blonde.
Is
I
this
was
still
like,
recording?
Yeah. They're so pretty. The blonde ones are. I love them. That looks awesome. Wow, I cannot believe I've never seen a lion head look that way before.
Love the tails. This is the
Right.
coolest part to me.
You know, I think 2 of them just people ended up not doing, and it all fell apart on the back. And I was
Oh.
able to salvage the tails. Like I got a bucket of bear claws. And
Oh, that's so cool.
if you want any of that stuff, I'll give you any of that stuff you want. We got extra bear skulls. We got all it all.
I need a good training hide to train the horses with. That's what I need.
But how are you going to get it to smell?
I
Take a
don't know.
piece of this fat off of this bear right now.
I don't know. I mean, the hide will still
I
smell,
need a coat
right?
made out of this.
A little bit, but not a whole.
Well, smell my rug. It doesn't
Well,
really smell like anything.
Even if it didn't smell, looking at that, a horse would be like, WTF, get me away
I
from
think
that
your
thing.
horses would have done it if you skinned it.
Yeah.
It would have packed your meat. If you would have just skinned your
Right.
bear, they would have packed your meat out, no problem. It's
Oh.
the hide that's got all the stink.
Well, and we should have done a lot different that night. We shouldn't have led the horses up to it in the first place until it was completely in game bags and skinned out and quartered.
I was ready to hide. I had all my stuff on. I was just getting to my house.